I know they mad that I can spit, I go off loyalty. So ain't no back door over here, I like that pretty tea. I go off qualities, they call me Prodigy. Okay, Prodigy. I know they mad that I can spit, I go off loyalty. So ain't no back door over here, I like that pretty tea. I go off qualities, they call me Prodigy. Okay.
How y'all doing? I'm Christopher Redmon, also known as Prodigy the Artist, and I'm here with the second episode of 10 Minutes for Prodigy, and I'm here with Hope Chicago again, an outreach and engagement manager. We'll start off by telling a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you end up getting to Hope Chicago.
Hi y'all, how you doing? I'm Brandis Haugabrook. I am originally from Massachusetts, born and raised. I went to school at Spelman College down in Atlanta, where I studied Spanish and econ as my minor. And while I was down in school, I just really, learned a lot more about what it means to be a public servant, what it means to be in education, what equity is. And so when I was down in school, I actually interned in the mayor at the time, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom's outreach. No, it was the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And so in that role, I got to do a lot of outreach. I got to be in the community, working with not just students, but also with adults, different community members, different like council people, community organizations, all the things. And so that's really where I found my love of the work that I am doing now. So I taught special education diverse learning for 3 years during COVID. So every year was very different for me. My first year I taught, I think it was kindergarten through second grade. My second year I taught third grade through fifth grade. And then my last year I taught kindergarten through seventh grade, but in different settings. So some of it was my own classroom, some of them I pushed into the other classrooms. And then the last year that I taught, I also did, I supported with our ESL students. So I was putting my Spanish to the test every day. I was putting my patience to the test every day with all of our students. But that was also one of the places where I kind of like re-engaged my love for education and my love for the community and public service. But I got to education through a program called Teach for America. So that was like after I graduated college, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And Teach for America came at the perfect time because not only are you going into the classroom, you're actually teaching, but I got my master's when I was going through the program, and also kind of learning about what it means to be a leader in your community through education. Leaders of Color for Systems Change, and that was like the ultimate kind of like energizer to be like, oh, I'm ready for the next step. Like I know now what it means to be in education, to be teaching. I know what it means to be a public servant, but now I actually have the skills to kind of go out and not just organize, but like be more knowledgeable about the community, be more knowledgeable about society and how all of that operates and how education can be a catalyst for like greater good. So that's how I ended up at Hope Chicago now. Yeah. And then the work that I do here as an outreach and engagement manager, I kind of have my hands in all of the buckets. But I serve on the impact team, and we operate under the 3 Ps, which is partnership, parent program, and so I oversee our internship program and a lot of the like other corporate engagement opportunities that we do at the high school and college level. But like the personal is political, so everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, in some way, shape, or form, has something to do with policy, right? And we see we're literally living through that right now. Like policy changes are affecting our lives, and so that is one of the things that is it's a big I don't know, it's something that here at Hope Chicago we take very seriously. We have to engage at the state level. We have to engage with our legislators because education is life-changing, not just to get your degree, but it has implications for the economy. It has implications for your career. It has implications for your family. And so that's one of the things that, aside from getting state funding to support this program, we have to engage with our legislators to make sure that they know the work that we're doing and how it's impacting the community.
Hold on. You talked about you working as a diverse learner for CPS. Dive into the leadership skills you learned during that time and how it helped you when you got to Hope Chicago?
That's a great question. I would say so. There are so many teachers are superheroes. Teachers are superheroes. They do things on a daily basis that no one else ever has to do.
Facts.
They are literally shaping the lives of our future. And especially as a diverse learning teacher, it's a different skill set that you need because you're working with special students. Not
Yeah.
special, just like specially abled or differently abled, but like these are really, really special kids. But they would come to me to get the learnings that they needed in a different setting than they did in the gen ed classes. It's like a lot of moving pieces here. There are all these standards that you have to meet to prove that like you're on par with your grade level.
Yeah.
Diverse learning students might not be on par with what the standards are for their grade, but you're building on these skills to help them get there. So that was one of the things is what I had to do was take the grade level standards
Yeah.
and figure out how to teach them to my students where they are. So that was one of the skills. You got to meet the kids where they are, right? But you also have to have expectations for them to help them keep moving. I'll start there. That's one of the things that I've brought over here to Hope Chicago is working with not just high school students, but college students who are now moving into the next phase of their life. You have to meet them where they are, but hold you to a level, to a standard, to an expectation that's going to help you move forward. There's like a level of relatability in that and getting like kind of technical. There's something called culturally relevant teaching. It's not just, what is I mean, you got to know the culture and the climate, right?
Yeah.
You have to know what home life is like. You have to know what their community is like. All of those things kind of play into how you teach. I would also say just like leadership in general is one of those things you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to raise your voice and not just like yelling, but actually like advocate for your students, advocate for yourself, advocate for the needs of the organization or the school, whatever the case may be. You have to be able to bring that through all like different phases of the work that I'm doing. And so that's another skill that I've brought over. But just like continuing to learn and improve yourself so that you can have a stronger impact personally, but then also on the work.
That's huge because a lot of people really don't realize like you clearly have a lot of patience with kids, teaching and doing all those other things and trying to find out what's the best way to get this message across because you know what's going on in a situation and it's really hard. So we do thank you for that, especially, I know kids all over the world don't thank you for that. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about working at Hope Chicago?
Oh man, there are so many things I love about working here. I will say no day is ever the same. This work moves very quickly because we're working with thousands of people and the needs are different every day. And so part of my work is when things come up, how can we help solve this? Because during the school year, we're working with the students to get their, to make sure that things are aligned with what they need to do to keep moving in their academics, but then also in personal and then also with career and professional development. In the summer, we're doing summer transition, we're doing internships, but also throughout the school year in the spring, we're doing legislative season. So nothing is slowing down, right? So I'll just say like part of what I love so much about this work is that there's always something to do and always some way to support our students, get them in front of our corporate partners, get them in front of legislators, hearing from them what is it that they need so that we can help support them in that.
No, I like that. Man, imagine coming here doing the same thing every day. Especially being an intern here, I learned that every day is different. It's not like you're not aware of what you're gonna work on, but it's like it's the excitement that you know what's gonna happen the next day, but it's different from the last day. And it's not gonna bore you. So I do like that. Okay. So 5 years from now, what will Brandis be? What do you see yourself?
So I'll say this. I'll say 5 years from now, I just see myself continuing to grow, continuing to serve the community, continuing to build my network. I would love to be one of those faces that everybody in Chicago knows, but the work that I'm doing, I just want to be continuing to serve the community and bigger and better and more innovative. Yeah.
I did want to touch on the subject. You are a mom.
I am a
So
mom.
how do you manage that life from being a mom and coming here and work
Woo!
and bringing that, still bringing your best self to work every day?
I'll say a lot of that goes back to when I was a teacher. My second year, the end of my second year teaching is when I had Anaya. So I went into my third year with a brand new baby.
Yeah.
And that was really the toughest time, I think, having to balance work and home and motherhood, because I was teaching, I saw maybe 70, 80 kids every day, right?
Yeah.
Then they had to come home and deal with my one kid, but I'm already so tired from having to deal with 80 kids.
Yeah.
And other people's kids, throughout the day. But I'll say in that time, I learned about balance. I learned more patience than I already had. A lot of the skills that I was doing with my kids every day, I was coming home and doing that with Anaya,
Yeah.
And so I'm teaching her, but also it's different when it's your own baby. But I think being a mom has energized me so much in the work that I'm doing now, because I'm looking at you guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, my girl is going to be there one day. And I want the best possible life and future for her. But I also want that for you guys, because I see a lot of her in you, but I also see a lot of me in you, And so I just want the best for everybody, right? But being a mom changes you, because it gives you like a different level of accountability, a different level of responsibility, a different level of like love to give, not just to my own kid, but to other people. I'm grateful to be in a place that is supportive of family, not just the families that we serve, but also our own families, because, there are places where I wouldn't be able to do that. And I wouldn't be able to put my family first, as I'm also putting our families.
That's very touching, because it's like you already had love for children before you was a mom. Then you become a mom, and I feel like you open a new door, and had that feeling that you can relate to other moms and you want to see us do better. It's just opened up a whole new window. And I think that's very amazing. And I also seen straightforward, like, everybody at Hope love your daughter, and they really embrace her, and it's like, and she always bring this type of joy, it can be boring. Guess who's gonna be running around, and I love that. So we do thank you. So when it top it off with a quote that you can give future Hope scholars and the youth inside the Chicago community.
When you keep finding yourself in places with good people, it means that you're on the right path. It means that something good is happening here. It means that you're on the right path. It means that you're around the right people. So I'll just say that, like, keep in mind the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Make sure that they're the right people and that they're good people, because it means that more good things are coming your way.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brandis, for sitting down and having this conversation with us. Appreciate you.
Yes.
And we out.